All right, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Indie Inquiries, where we examine and review Steam store pages and provide advice for indie developers. I'm, of course, Josh Placer, and joining me, my co-host from Nexus Games, Sharky.
And Dracon's Jester, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Dragon, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I hope Dracon is also doing good. I'm excited because it's looking like just here in a few days I might have a playtestable version of Neon Continuum.
All right, but let's get started for our show this week. Again, as always, we have two games that we hope to get submissions each week that we're going to be reviewing their store pages from top to bottom and providing a grade as well. So, I think with that, let's begin with this one. This was submitted to both of us. This is Solus Sector Tactics. I think the developer may be in one of our chats too.
Yes, he is in my chat.
All right. So, let's start as always with the thumbnail. All right. So, what do you think of this one?
This is a hard one, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But the font's clear to read, so that's good.
Hmm. I do
The
like the framing of like the character, like the position of her body, kind of framing and leaning it to the title.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have the everything leading your eye here
Hmm.
because you have sort of a triangle forming right here, as well as you have this line coming through here. So everything leads to that. So that's good.
Hmm.
I
I
mean,
think.
I think it might have an issue with standing out in some way, though. Like it's not bad at it, but I can't place my finger on it. Are you getting the same kind of feeling?
It looks, I think, a little generic. I think that's what
Yeah,
hurts it.
yeah. And I do you know what's causing it to look that way? Because I don't know what it is. Because everything looks good here. I just don't know what's causing it to look that generic. But I am getting that.
I think having like the character kind of being the predominant thing on the thumbnail, because we've seen this style used so many times before, where it's the title and then there's a woman next to it or a man, and it gives all like that kind of theme to it.
Hmm.
I think another thing that may kind of hurt it is that for a game that's called Tactics, you really don't see any kind of like units on it. Like you have like a few of the ships in the bottom right, but then you have like way in the distance here, like it looks like a kind of like a dogfight going on, but you really can't tell unless you're like really close up looking at
Yeah. I'm I'm unsure if that's necessarily an issue, but maybe.
it. Yeah, I mean it's definitely
The
not bad.
yeah, the hex grid behind it also gives it, some of the aesthetics from the game itself,
Mhm.
and I like that. I like all of it. It just, still somewhat feels generic,
Yeah.
and it may be
Now,
the character, but I'm unsure.
now I see that he has his studio name, Zizuko, and I'm sorry if I butcher that, but you can see that right above the S. That is very hard to read. Like, do you think that's really needed for the thumbnail?
Is that on the thumbnail?
Yeah.
Where at?
Look above the S in Solus.
Are you sure that's what that says?
Yes.
Yeah, I would probably dump that or I don't think you need the studio name on the thumbnail at all.
Hmm. Yeah. Not a big deal. Like, I don't think it really takes
Yeah.
away from it. It's just more of a nitpick for me.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to give this thumbnail? Because I think this is tough.
Yeah, this
Like,
is tough because I mean
structurally, it,
he's done everything right, I think here. But it somehow still looks a little bit on the generic side, maybe because of the character.
mhm. Yeah,
So,
again, like structurally, this is what we want to see from a thumbnail.
hmm
But
it's very well constructed.
yeah, so the big question, besides the grade, is how would you change it? Because I can't think of anything either.
Yeah, it's hard. This is really a conundrum.
Hmm. Maybe do you think the fact that the background and the hex are almost similar, you think that's hurting it a little bit?
Maybe, but
You've stumped us.
I
Just
I don't know. Yeah, he has stumped us with this thumbnail
mm-hmm.
because it's like everything's done right, but yet it's not as good as it should be
I
considering
think
that.
one thing that I'm thinking is that one of these screenshots that just like popped up on the little roll shows kind of like I'm not sure it's supposed to be like a nebula or something like a pink, white,
The
and
fourth screenshot.
yeah. And I just wonder if maybe having that in the background or something similar would kind of make it pop more instead of
It
being
might make it
pink like
pop, but
pink.
it might make it completely unreadable at the same time. It probably would because there's white in there.
Yeah. Or maybe like the green or the blue. Because I think the pink on pink is kind of hurting it a little bit.
Maybe.
So the big question is, what's the grade? And Draken says, is it B minus? I can't tell because of the chat. Oh no, just a 6. I'm not sure. 6 doesn't help us here.
It's a 6
Like,
out of some number.
mm-hmm.
You got a 6 out of an A.
Like, I don't think it gets like. I don't think it's in like the C range.
Oh, it's definitely not in the C range.
But I don't think it's like high. I don't know. What do you think? Like maybe B minus? B?
I think it's a B, but like, I mean, what he's got here, if he could figure out, if we could figure out what the issue is and fix that issue,
Could be
this
maybe B
this
plus
could
A.
be an A plus.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of stumped to what the problem is. It may be the character. It
Yeah.
may be that those colors are too close together. I don't know. This is again, I'm stumped.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a B, but with the heavy caveat is, like everything here is basically an A plus on its own, and I
Structure.
don't know why
Yeah.
it's a B.
I think I agree with Draken that the character hurts it because it's just a style that we've seen time and time and time and time again. Like, again, usually for these things, it's the structural issues that kind of degrade the grade a little bit. This, it works structurally.
Maybe have a big ship there or something in place of the character.
Maybe. Maybe like one of the more impressive ships in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I would also try experimenting with a different color for that background. Maybe either like a green, you have like a yellow and a blue, at least from what I'm seeing on the screenshots.
Well,
And
if you look at the title screen, you can see where a lot of the screenshot that came from on the last
yeah,
thumbnail. So he probably doesn't want to do that because that would require a lot more work. But what would require less work is if you change the hex color behind it.
maybe just like make those colors a little bit different so that it pops more.
Mm-hmm.
And you have looks like a frigate on the title screen as well. Maybe fitting a ship onto the thumbnail or just experimenting like one piece at a time.
I don't know if that's a frigate. That almost looks like a space station.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready to watch the trailer?
I was thinking about something. Like, something that might be cool looking would be if these hexes look like carbon fiber kind of thing.
Mm.
But at the same time, that's going to present readability with the
Yeah.
text. So, I don't know. Just an idea that came to me, Take it as you will.
All
So
right.
let's start on the trailer.
All right, loading it up now. Oop. All right, so just wait.
That's not a very good code opening. That was just.
There we go.
Wait, what? You haven't started
It
yet?
like Steam just like shot all the way to like a minute and a half.
Okay, you ready to start now?
Yeah, I'm starting.
Okay. Not a very good code opening because this is a code fish opening. You don't want to start with something that's just. You need something that pops, something wows at the very beginning, not dialogue going across. I mean, this part right here would be closer to a code opening.
With the text on screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got that sound effect and everything in there. He does have sound effects integrated into the trailer, which is good.
You think the music fits?
Not really.
Showing explosions. I saw a special power.
He's doing zooms, which is good. The problem is that I think he's leaving too much on some of these sections of gameplay and not doing enough cuts.
Yeah.
And it's making it feel slow because of that.
Yeah. Now it's a minute. It's a minute 40. It doesn't feel as much as I think, just because of all the shooting and action going on. But yeah, I think you're right. We could probably cut a good like 30 seconds, like just like speeding up a few of these sections.
Well, I wasn't talking about cutting. I wasn't talking about cutting out sections. I was talking about cutting from section to section, where it was like, here's like, 10, 15 seconds of gameplay. Here's 10, 15 seconds more gameplay. Here's 10, 15 seconds more gameplay. What I meant is, more like, here's 5 seconds, cut, here's a different 5 seconds, cut, here's a different 5 seconds, so that it's more segmented, fast dropping. So it's not just, I don't know, waiting on the gameplay to happen kind of thing. It's just, pop, 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 instead of, pop, wait, pop, wait, pop, wait, pop, wait kind of thing. And
I think in the beginning, what like the opening with like the campaign map, it's a little too slow. I think what he should have done is when you get like the part, let me see, like about 17 seconds in, when you're seeing a little bit of action and then it goes straight into kind of like the dialogue, like I almost feel like it should start there. So you have like a quick bit of explosion action, and then you kind of get like, something happening.
yeah, I would also probably break up those 3 things of text and have gameplay in between them. Because
So it's not just an empty screen with just text in it.
well, it's not an empty screen. He's using a transparent that has a gradient of sorts over it, and then gameplay behind it. But like, you want to break up each one of these bits into different sections.
That's about 10, actually more like 13 seconds, where the person is just focusing on text. And it would probably be better to break that up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And as Shark said, text, actual gameplay. Text, actual gameplay.
Yeah. Also, does this text font that he's using, does that feel off to you? For the inside the trailer at like 22 seconds, it says each mission unfolds a storyline.
Can't tell.
That font feels, I don't know, a little bit cheap to me.
It's hard to tell with that. It's the font that matches the title.
No, it didn't, because the title has that big drop shadow behind it. I think if this had something, if this was like the title, then it would not feel generic.
Yeah, maybe having a shadow behind it just to match what you have with the other would help.
And I'm not 100% sure that's the same font, but it may be.
I think from an action standpoint, I think he does a really good job of presenting the gameplay. Again, like tactical and turn-based games are very hard to do an engaging trailer with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like the zoom in, showing action, ships blowing up, I know was a good job.
Yeah, but he needs to make each one of those sections shorter to where there's more different parts of gameplay rather than longer, bigger parts of gameplay.
Yeah. And maybe you think maybe cutting the time a little bit as well?
Yeah, it definitely needs to cut the time if he can. I would suggest probably no longer than a minute.
Yeah. Again, I think you could probably edit like the first almost 17 seconds out, maybe 15 to 14 seconds, show a little bit of gameplay, and then start showing like like the text, breaking that up, and some of the combat sections just feel like a little bit slow, or there's a little bit too much to them.
Yeah. Some
Hey, Christian.
let's see here. He needs a better code opening kind of thing. Like there isn't a code opening. You want to lead with a code opening, and what a code opening is just some burst of something that will go emotion out of people, whether it's a funny joke or whether it's epic
Explosion.
explosions,
Hmm.
something epic happening, somebody getting their head cut off, something, you know what I mean? It needs to be something epic, and you want to end on that same kind of thing too. Although you don't want to end on a joke, but you
Hmm.
can, after the end, do a joke and truly end on that. Um,
So,
and there's
with that,
the what do you think about the call to action though at the end?
let
It's really short. I almost didn't even notice that it was in there.
me see. How long is it?
4 seconds.
130. Yeah. I mean, it looks okay. It's not like it doesn't really pop out. Let me see if I can.
And I think it's too short. And you come in here
Base established.
and like you start fading out here at like 30 seconds, 33 seconds, and it takes like, almost 3 or 4 seconds to get all the way to here. And I think that needs to be a lot faster transition.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of it kind of looking like there's a lot of negative space in the call to action. Like you can see like the actual title doesn't basically cover the entire screen or the entire width.
Yeah, I would definitely rework this almost completely.
Hmm.
I would probably, put a character on one side, a character on the other side, have this, background scale across the entire thing, and then have wish list on Steam with the actual, like colored Steam logo probably down, in one corner, and maybe something on another corner,
Hmm.
and maybe and have the title big and in the middle,
Hmm.
you know.
All right. So grade for the trailer.
Uh,
Eh,
trailer was not as good, not as was not good structure wise.
it wasn't bad, but
It
it
was.
definitely had more issues, I think, to it than the thumbnail.
Mhm. The thumbnail technically has no issues, but it's not working as well as it should
Mhm.
with no
Yeah.
issues. There's plenty of issues here in the trailer. I'm going to say the trailer, like, there's definitely good parts to it, but the
Hmm.
structure was not good to it.
Hmm.
Um,
Mm.
and it really dragged on. I think maybe a C minus.
Yeah. I was thinking C minus C range myself.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So the screenshots, I think some of these were used in the trailer. I know the one with the campaign map, the fourth one, was in the trailer.
Yeah. I think a lot of them were.
Hmm.
Except for the title screen. The title screen might be the only one that wasn't in there.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know. This first one might not be in there.
Yeah, maybe not. Let's see.
Hey, Andreas, what's up? Welcome. By the way, for anybody who doesn't know, that's my 3D environmental artist.
Nice. It's hard again with tactical games like this, especially those that take place on like you know uh, grids. It's hard to tell when screenshots are used in the trailer and used here, because everything looks very similar.
Yeah. I'm going to say that if they aren't in your trailer, a lot of them look like they are.
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to judge it based off of no screenshots.
Yeah. So, what do you want to give it? Mm,
I mean, the first screenshot seems like a really good screenshot.
yeah. I would probably put a screenshot that shows like the blast happening, like the special move, and
Hmm.
ships blowing up, that kind of thing.
I think part of his issue is that the game might lack on animations.
Mm-hmm. Like that other game we looked at, I think, like a week or so ago.
Yeah, I think what he probably needs is maybe inside the game he needs like basically the Kamehameha ship blast kind of thing.
Mm,
And
yeah.
and something really interesting would be is if you were to like on certain special moves pop, either do like a pop-up that comes on the screen kind of thing of the ship really high res kind of thing and it
Something
blasting.
like the Advanced Wars style almost
Yeah,
when they use
you could do it
power.
advanced war style, but you could also do it where, like I don't know what game I'm thinking about, but some game
Mm-hmm.
where it just pops up as a segment over the screen, like a banner almost. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see it blasting.
Yeah.
But either way, just like some kind of like, there needs to be some kind of animation pop there, for like at
Mm-hmm.
least some of the attacks. You probably don't want that for all the attacks because then you're going to be dragging out the gameplay. But,
Mm-hmm.
if you can make certain attacks really pop, that I think that would number one make the game better, more juicy and whatnot, and number two, that would give you something to put in the trailer because and screenshots.
Yeah, I think the lack of animations may be kind of like an overriding or a major element of some of like the issues that we see, because when you're, again, this is the issue with tactical or turn-based games, that it's very hard to show impact without animation. Like,
Hmm.
again, we remember last week that Hopeless Dregs game. Like, you put that next to Darkest Dungeon, it's like, a Yugo versus a supercar in terms of presentation.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's it. That's a real key to tactical, games to make them really pop. You really have to go over the top with some of your animations. That's where Disgaea really kind of came in, with their really, really over the top attack animations.
Or a Fire Emblem, like the original ones, like when the guy does like a crit and it's like a special animation of them attacking.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Christian. We'll have to look at that when the time comes. But so screenshots. What do you think? C plus?
I'm going to say, I'm going to give it the benefit of doubt and say C plus.
Okay. All right. Let's go down to the about this game. This should be a very quick one.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not a good way. That's not a good sign.
Yeah. So we have no gifs, no images.
No banners. Of course, you don't
Yeah.
have to have all of them, but you need a good bit
Some.
of at least some of them. You don't want to overflood the page, but you want to break up the text. He is
Yeah.
using blue text, but he's only using it in one place, which, probably not a bad thing considering the length. But I
Mm-hmm.
think I think he needs a little bit more text here, and I think each one of these features could have a GIF going with them.
Yeah, especially when you have like, again, like a blast or some kind of crazy attack. Like that could really go in, pick your abilities. You could have like the campaign map or linear storyline.
Mm,
Yeah, it needs to pop more.
yeah, there's not much here. I think he needs a little bit more text, not much. And I think a banner up above here, you know, a GIF, for each one of these features.
Mm-hmm.
Or most of them.
Yeah.
And maybe a GIF between here and here.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Especially just breaking this up, because you look up here with all the screenshots, and then you just scroll down, your eyes will start to glaze over because there's nothing here that's kind of attracting you.
yeah,
So this, yeah, this needs work.
D
I'm
minus.
thinking the D range for this.
I'm thinking D minus.
Yeah, I mean, you have the features and this section that is structured right, at least in terms of focus or how the text is there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it needs images, it needs GIFs, it needs something to break this up.
Yeah, which goes back to that whole thing about needing more
Animation.
animations in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have that, then putting something down here is not going to be attractive.
Yeah.
It'd be better than having just wall of text, but it's not going to be attractive. It's just going to be, eh,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
workable, but it's not great.
All right. So the about the information panel on the right here. After our show last week, we kind of looked into some of the genre tags, and we realized that Steam is very weird in terms of what genres you can select for games. So we have to kind of revise our grade for this section.
Yeah, it's weird because like I know when I was setting things up on Steam, there was all the tags,
Hmm.
but apparently when I selected those tags, they didn't go down here. You know,
Yeah,
some of them went down here, like I think like five of them went down here, but the other ones just went up to the top section.
yeah,
They went
and
up
see,
here to popular user defined tags, and it's like I was a developer and I assigned those, not a
yeah.
user.
So this one could, like, if I click on strategy, I can see the narrow by tags that seems like popularizing on the right hand side. So this one definitely needs more tags. I think what we'll do, or at least to kind of grade this section, is that you want to have at least, I would say, 2 to 3 genre tags. I think one is, even if it's a big one, is still too few.
Mm-hmm.
And we also want contact information. So
But he's got his
for
Twitter on
genre,
there.
yeah. So genre, I think I would add, indie, turn-based strategy. What was the other one I saw? Uh, Turn-based strategy, indie, maybe even single player as well.
Mm-hmm.
So contact information, you have the Twitter. There's no developer site.
No website.
Hmm.
It, yeah, the thing about websites is they're expensive when you're getting started. So,
Yeah,
but you definitely want a website.
yeah. But at least you have Twitter. At least you have some social media presence so people can reach out.
Mm-hmm.
But you need more tags. At least one, maybe 2 more if you can get it.
Yeah.
Mm,
So what are we saying for this section?
mm. Maybe C plus B minus. What do you think?
I was thinking C, C plus.
Hmm. Yeah, just a few more tags, because you really want, again, the more tags you have, the more places the algorithm will try and fit you in.
Yeah, exactly.
So, with that said, what do we give this as an overall grade? So we gave the thumbnail was like a B minus B.
I thought we got it B,
Okay. The trailer, I think we said what, like a C?
B minus,
Yeah. And those are the
B.
two major points. But
Yeah,
then the other aspects are lower. The about this game, the images, and of course the title here.
yeah. Luckily, those are the ones where you got the worst grades
Yeah.
because those count the least amount. And the thing is that thumbnail something about that thumbnail is just so close to being A plus.
but it's not there yet.
No, it's not there for some reason.
Uh-huh. I'm thinking overall grade C plus, I think, for me.
Yeah, I'd go with C plus.
I feel like there's too many little things that are keeping it from the B range.
Yeah. I think though that the art of the game looks really, really good,
Yeah,
and that really sells it. That is really good looking pixel
yeah.
art.
hmm I think just again a little bit more animation, a little bit more pop will go a long ways towards helping like all aspects of it.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that yeah, I would honestly not just go with a little bit more animations. I would go over the top with them.
Yeah,
Go as over the top as possible.
as you're able to.
Yeah, like a little bit will go a long ways, but if you go completely over the top, then it's going to vastly change people's perspective on this game.
And here's a question: the features like pick your abilities, you can choose whatever your skills are. Is that its own custom screen in this game? Because if it is, I would include that as one of the screenshots.
Yeah, like a tech tree or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
that would
Like if
be
the screen has like the character on, choose your skills, and you see like them all along the bottom or in the middle. Just something that looks visually different from everything else that you have in your screenshots.
yeah, because right now it's just here's battle 1, here's battle 2, here's battle 3, here's a map, here's
Mm-hmm.
battle 4, here's a
Here's the
title
title
screen.
screen. Yeah, I think the title screen is not bad.
Yeah, I think the title screen's pretty good, and
Yeah,
that's what
I
the
like the
thumbnail is based off of.
yeah, I like the detail that you can kind of see, like almost like a ship or like a circuit board kind of look on the ship here or the space station.
Yeah, yeah, that's a
All
really
right,
good ship design.
all right. Well, I am ready to move on to our next game. Are you?
Yep.
All right. So this one was submitted by a developer who got in touch with me. We played this on the show last week, and this is in retrospect. And this is like an emotionally driven runner. Kind of a very weird combination, to say the least.
Yeah, that is a weird combination.
So, thumbnail.
The
Mm.
colors definitely grab your eye in retro.
The background doesn't really do anything, though.
Well, the background needs to, it needs to service the foreground. You know what I mean? It does that, but I think it could do it better.
Yeah.
I like that N is smaller and on top, and that it's still big enough to be easily readable.
Yeah.
And I love that retro has all the different colors in it. That's really solid. Even
Mm-hmm.
spect part of it has different colors of gray, but
Yeah, the
they're
shape.
they're very very hard to see. I would make those easier to see. I would make them more contrast against the white ish
Yeah.
color.
Do you think?
I don't think that's even white. That's like a light gray. So I
Yeah.
would just, a light gray and a slightly darker light gray. I would make that more of a medium gray or something.
Mhm. Do you think changing the background would help at all?
Well,
The
he needs a dark background. I put it to you
mm,
that way because he's got the white text and he's got the very colorful thing. So you don't want a lot of color in the background and you don't want it to be light because you have the white. So you want it to be a dark background with very little color. So, that it has, but I think he could get a better background. You know what I mean?
yeah, and maybe we'll find something when we look at these images and screenshots too, or images and trailer.
Yeah. So you ready to
Well,
give this a grade before we
yeah.
hop into the trailer?
I think this is another tricky one.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, again, structurally it works, but nothing is here that I think a consumer is going to like see this and go, "Oh, I want to click on this."
Yeah.
I'm thinking the C range, at least for me. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm thinking C plus.
Hmm. I feel like all text, even if the text is done stylistically, isn't a strong marketing point for consumers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All
Yeah, I
right.
think I'm thinking the C range.
All
All
right.
right, ready for the trailer?
Yep.
Let's see.
Starting with a card opening with text. That's and more text. That's a dead fish opening, not a code opening.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah,
more
that's
text.
13. Wait, 16 seconds of old text.
Yeah, that was really bad.
You could probably put that text over gameplay footage to help it speed. Oh,
Yeah.
it is a 2-minute long trailer,
Dude.
which is also very loud.
And he has all these phases in here.
I don't think the phases are necessary.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think that's just wasting time at this point.
The part where like the camera rotates around, I think that's a really good section. Yeah, you don't need the phases to break this up.
Yeah. I guess through the Wells intros.
It's a nice cut.
Yeah, it is.
And now we have
That
someone
section's
having a
way too long with the heartbeat.
yeah. It's a nice break in the trailer, but this could all be done a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Just saying. 11:42.
You don't need a game by whoever after you just put the studio name and everything else. If you're gonna put that, that needs to be with the game by. And there's like all these other screens here, the website and the
Fit, I think, a lot more on a single screen. And
yeah,
then
I
the
think
trailer has like nothing for about 5 seconds.
I think all these screens need to be almost on the same screen, or
Maybe
most
down
of
to
them.
2 screens
Yeah,
max.
2 screens. You know, maybe the Salamander games and then the name with everything else on it.
Yeah, so not the best trailer. So, like, starting from the beginning, like, this text, it should really be over game footage. The whole phase, I think you can get rid of that.
Yeah, the fact
Or,
that
again,
there's no code opening here, and it's just
like, you could,
you need a code opening, something that grabs the people. You know.
yeah, like, you could start with him, like, running on the train, or, falling into space, or jumping on, like, these dragons, and then having text kind of be, overlaid on top of that, switching to another thing, have a little bit more text.
Yeah,
Like, you
but that's
don't
still
want
not a
just
code opening.
black.
You want something more action based
Yeah.
or
You don't want all text and nothing behind it,
well,
because
I
that's
mean
just
you can have that, but you got to do that in a limited fashion, and it's got to be decorated.
yeah.
How you get involved, Monster, is you just submit your game. You join, my Discord or Josh's Discord or both, and then message us privately and send us your
Or
game.
yep, or reach out to us on Twitter. We have links to our Discords and all that in our respective video descriptions down below.
Mm-hmm.
I At 120, when kind of like the trailer like takes its like Undertale kind of like tone twist,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good point, but it happens way too long in this trailer.
Yeah, I think that might have been a good point for a code opening.
Could be. Maybe show like the character running, he gets hit immediately, and then we have the heartbeat.
Well, not immediately, because you want to establish that he's running first. So you
Yeah.
probably want a second or two before he gets hit.
Yeah, maybe like 3 to 5 seconds of gameplay, he gets hit, heartbeat for maybe another 4 to 5 seconds.
I think that's too long.
Yeah. Maybe
But
like 2 to 3 seconds of the heartbeat.
I think the gameplay should be like maybe 1 or 2 seconds, and the heartbeat another two
Hmm.
3 seconds, so that the whole code opening is 5 seconds, because
Yeah.
that's really what you want is a code opening that's like 5 seconds long
And then yeah,
or
another
less.
thing, this is just way too long of a trailer.
Yeah.
Like this, like we said on the last one, like a good trailer should be no more than a minute.
Hmm. And
And I mean, you
honestly,
have.
what I would probably do is I would remove all the text at the beginning, just like completely,
Mhm.
and get a voice actor to do
Yeah, that
voiceovers.
is attraction.
Get a
Yeah.
get a voice actor to say whatever you need to say over the video.
Hmm. And I like the variety of backgrounds. And I think like the middle when it's kind of like circling or cycling through the different environments is good, but it needs to be quicker. Like
Yeah,
no more than like 2 to 3 seconds per environment.
it could be longer than that, but you need to make sure it's a lot shorter. You don't want a 2 minute trailer, that's for sure.
Yeah. And again, anytime that the text just kind of is there and there's nothing going on, that is just dead time.
Yep. And when you have dead time at the beginning, you have a dead game.
Yeah. Like probably like the parts of this trail that I like when you're like spinning in space at like the 40-second mark, I think that's a really good section that you definitely want to keep in this trailer.
Yeah, that would probably be better for like the closing of it,
Mhm.
because you want a very similar thing to the cold opening at the end.
When he goes into the whale, I think that's another really good kind of break of what you expect.
Yeah, I know they're trying. I think they're trying to keep the boards that you go to in order, and you don't want to do that.
I mean, you don't really need to do that in a trailer, I think.
Yeah, you don't want to do it in trailer. Is my point.
Yeah. And then the whole where does it start? Like 40 minute, yeah, minute 40. So you have 28 seconds at the end that needs to be redone on top of everything else, I should say.
Yeah, because like there should be 1 to 2 screens here, and that's it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's okay to have 20 seconds of that, but it needs to look good, number one, and it needs
Mm-hmm.
to not stick on things too much. Like, they should, you know you maybe have a screen that says the studio name as well as the game by Andrew
Mm-hmm.
on the same screen, and then after that pass to another screen that has
That
the
is the whole like
in
call to
retrospect,
actions.
and has the coming to PC and more soon, and the address all on the same screen, and that's
Yeah.
your final screen kind of thing.
Yeah. I think he's trying to do it like, like retro style, one line, per screen, but I don't think that really works for people today.
Yeah, that does not work for today,
Yeah.
because today people are all about wasting time, and
Hmm.
players do not like having their time wasted,
Yeah.
because there is so many games to play and not enough
And
time to play them. So,
and most people I don't think will make it to the minute 40 mark to even see this.
oh yeah, because a lot of people aren't making it past the first 5 seconds with nothing but text here.
Hmm.
Because here's the truth of the fact is, and this is the reason why you want a code opening, is most people don't make it past the 5 second mark on your trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely want to have your trailer something really pop in that first 5 seconds because you've got to hook them. You've got to hook them in that first 5 seconds. That's the reason why you got to do a cold opening
And you have elements that I think would work
for the cold
for
opening.
a cold opening, yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, though, I don't think this is a solid trailer,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking like in the D minus range for me.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe F plus, honestly.
Hmm. It's too long. It's not really moving the. It's not really keeping somebody invested in it.
Yeah,
And
the structure is not there.
yeah,
I mean, the only thing you've got going for it is there's good moments of gameplay in here.
yeah,
That's really all you've got going here. And
yeah.
I've seen AMVs that have like low quality AMVs that have more to offer than that. And basically, you need to offer more than that
Hmm.
because you need to hold their interest more than a low quality AMV.
Yeah. So yeah, shorten the trailer, make things move a lot faster, and get rid of the white text on black background, single lines.
Yeah.
All right.
Now you could do a
Mm-hmm.
decorated black screen, but if you're going to do that, it's got to be short and it's got to be like once or twice, no more than like 2 seconds in the total trailer, and it's got to
Mm-hmm.
be at completely different points of the trailer. But that is a big caveat of you want to avoid that if, in a lot of cases. And I don't see any case to do that on this one in particular, but
Yeah.
maybe there is.
Mm-hmm. All right. So images. I think a few of these were not in the trailer. I know there's a lot of images. I think the fourth from the last was not in the trailer.
I think most of these weren't in the trailer.
The
Well,
whale definitely was.
yeah,
The space was different. There was a
the
subway,
last
but it
one
was a
was.
different part of the subway.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
there's
think.
both some and some that aren't.
Yeah, I would get rid of the ones that are in the trailer
Mm-hmm.
and just keep the ones that are.
Yeah. But it is a decent mix,
Yeah,
and it does show off all the different environments.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the screenshots are rather solid.
Yeah.
What do
What
you
do you
think?
think?
I'm thinking maybe A minus for the screenshots.
I was thinking BB plus myself because some of them do look like they repeat from the trailer, but
But he's
there
got so
is
many of them. If he removes those, he's still going to have over his 5.
yeah.
Like
I'll
I
give it a
said, I
B
would just
plus.
remove those.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a really good variety, and I think that helps here.
yeah.
All right,
He's
so
he's
we
got 12. He only needs 5 screenshots. So if he removes the 2 or 3 that are already in the trailer, he's still going to have 8, and he's still going to be above the required limit. And there would be
mhm.
no duplicating screenshots. And with that, I see no problem with them.
Yeah,
That's the
I'll
reason
give
why I
it a B
say A minus.
plus.
A minus. Just remove the ones that duplicate, and you'd be good.
All right, but the about this game section, we have some issues.
Yeah, I don't think we have any issues here with this about this game page. I mean, I don't even see an about this game page section.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any issues here. I think we just have a lack of.
Hmm. Yeah. So we have no real breaking of the text,
Yeah,
no
that
different
text
color.
there's so many issues here. There's no blue text anywhere. The bullet points run into each other because there's no spacing between them.
Yep.
The bullet points themselves do not stand out because they're not bolded or highlighted or anything like that. Again, there's
Mm-hmm.
no blue text anywhere.
No images or GIFs.
No images or GIF, no banners, no nothing.
Yeah. The only spacing he has is, from the first line, and then there's a little space, or there's one space at the end of the final line.
Yeah.
But everything else is like smushed together.
Yeah, this is your classic run-on paragraph version of
Mhm.
Steam, version of about this game page.
And considering of all these, varieties of environments, they would make really good GIFs and really good ways of breaking this up. Do more than just run. Show me that.
Yeah,
Like a GIF of like the screen, spinning around as you're falling through space would be perfect right here.
yeah,
Different platforms, enemies, and hazards. Well, you could show me that.
yeah. Show me a GIF with like, that just jump cuts like constantly and like has like, I don't know, like, I mean, the GIF itself is maybe only like 5 seconds long, but like it shows like probably about 20 or 30 different platforming sections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. So this definitely needs work.
it needs to be started.
Yeah. So grade wise, I think this is an F minus.
I don't know. I don't know. Would it be an F minus or would it be getting out?
Mm, I think it's an F minus for me because there's nothing here. There's no
Yeah,
real structure. There's nothing that's attracting somebody's eye.
yeah.
It's
I'll
just
go with F minus. Yeah,
it's just a wall of text,
yeah,
and it is such a counter to all the variety of the images that you have up here.
yeah. It is.
Yeah. All
So the
right.
title card,
So you have two genres. That's good.
action and indie. He's got his
We
website supposedly. Let's click on that and see if it goes to a website.
hmm, we
It
have
does.
Twitter. We have a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So this is solid.
Yeah, this is solid. What do you
Yeah. I
think?
mean, I think
A?
A plus.
A
I
plus?
mean, he's got everything on here. I mean, we can't. There's nothing.
Well, you could
Again,
put
like,
maybe one more tag.
but what tag? That's the problem.
Single player?
Yeah, I guess. Let's see. Indies. Yeah, maybe single player would work. Okay, I'll give it an A then. I think.
A.
Yeah. So the bad news is you got the highest grade on the part that matters the least.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the genre matters one of the highest, actually. But, like,
Mm.
it only matters in terms of Steam. Doesn't
Now in
matter
terms
as
of
in terms
consumers.
of, people who get here. It's
Yep.
completely irrelevant to people who get here. But
Yeah.
it's very relevant on getting people here, as is the
Hmm.
thumbnail.
Yeah. But if you have a bad trailer, then people aren't going to stick around.
Exactly. And that trailer, ooh.
Yeah. So I think we're going to have to be a little. This grade is not going to be a high one for the
No.
overall. So you have an adequate thumbnail, but a
A,
bad
a
trailer
really bad trailer.
and a non-existent about this game page.
And decent screenshots. And a
Mm-hmm.
and a really good title card.
Mm-hmm. Uh, I'm thinking maybe
D minus.
D. I was thinking maybe D plus for me.
Well, you got
Definitely
to
not.
think, they have the main part of the grade is a thumbnail and the trailer, and the trailer's horrible, and the thumbnails subpar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Horrible
I think
plus
I'll.
subpar. I'm leaning D minus.
I think I'll go with D. But yeah, it's still not a good grade, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah, this needs work.
Yeah, lots and lots of work.
Again, start from the top and work your way down.
I would say that this page needs basically a complete overhaul
Maybe.
because like he needs to do something with the thumbnail, which change the background of the thumbnail, which is going to be a majority of the work, unless he just has a screenshot of the game that's just perfectly fit for it. Unless he has that, then it's going to be a ton of work to actually make one.
Yeah.
Then
And recutting the trailer.
oh, not even recutting the trailer, just make a new trailer.
Mm-hmm.
One with a better structure, and the screenshots are fine. He just needs to delete the ones that repeat out of the trailer. But if he changes the trailer, then he fixes that problem unless he puts them back into the trailer.
Yeah, and then the about this game is just it's a
Start
train
from
wreck.
yeah,
It needs to be completely done over.
yeah, gutted.
Mm-hmm. All right, but I think that will do it for our show this week. So I do want to thank developers for submitting games. I hope our grades and our critique will help you out in the future. And
Mm-hmm.
as always, if you are an indie developer, whether you're on Steam, Itch, whatever store page, and you'd like us to help you out with reviewing your store page and how you have everything set up, please get in touch with either one of us.
Yep, and links to all our discords and to get a hold of us, and all this other stuff is down in link below. And join the community and get help on your games, and also come to mine and talk about my game, and go to Josh's and get more development help.
Yeah. And do all the liking social media stuff that everyone likes to keep bugging you about as well.
Yeah, lick the smash button and smash the like button.
So we will be back live on Thursday, starting around 3:30 ET. And if you want to catch our game design show, those are held Sundays, starting around 4:30 ET on our respective channels. Come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where we simply are in science of games. And until our next show, have a great rest of your day.
See ya.